that they can reclaim. So we're wondering if there was any documentation that they could come up with that would suffice to try to see if they will be eligible.
Oh, well, yeah, we have a process, actually, we're going to bring some tomorrow when you bring it. There's a checklist. Once they come in and file for a claim or want to know how to file for a claim, there's like a list.
So, I work with Applied Response Technologies, and what this is
Applied Response Technology. Oh, so you're part of the cleanup effort?
I am. I'm a technical specialist with NOAA. They brought me out from California. I actually work there with the Department of Fish and Game. And so what we're taking a look at is we know that there's a lot of folks out in the public who have ideas, different ideas for how to clean up the oil spill.
Yes.
And so we've set up a process by which they can submit those ideas.
Oh, I saw.
We have people put their ideas into the database, and then we have people all over the nation that go in and query that database. And so what we're hoping is
test protocol.
Okay, so this is kind of an important thing, and that is that, you know, this isn't just out there to do just research for the sake of doing research. It is to meet an operational need. So if the folks out in the field come in and say, we need something to address this issue, then we go into the database, look for things that deal with that, as well as review the literature, and then put what we think are the best ideas out into the field. So
test protocol.
Yeah, they develop protocols and they test it. And maybe it was a good idea, but it needed to have the test tweaked a little bit. So they'll tweak it a little bit.
I see.
And then if it comes out successful, then we're able to feed that back into the response, and they're able to get the
Talking to some fishermen over there in La Rose yesterday, and they were saying that there's all the boats are tied up. There's none of them able to get hired on. What's the story with that? Is it that they don't have the knowledge?
If they have a contract, they'll be called out as their size vessels needed.
I see. Well, but they have to have. There's a lot of them that don't even have contracts. Am I right? The shrimp guys and stuff.
If they come to the home office, they can have them. They can get a contract.
Is that a BP office or something else?
Yeah.
Where is that located?
That is off of Highway 90, exit 200 and 311.
Exit 200, Highway 90. That's in New Orleans.
It's not in New Orleans. It's in Shreveport, Louisiana.
Oklahoma?
They can also get it in Venice.
In Venice. Is there an office in Venice?
The Venice on Coast Guard Road.
Coast Guard Road. Oh, okay. I know where that is. Right by the marina, on the way to the marina.
The Port Commission office. They can get contracts there.
I get the idea. So I don't know why a lot of guys don't seem to know that I've been talking to. Because they're saying, you know, they'd like to work, and you know, they're not pursuing it.
you know, the health stuff, we've got to be able to say something. We just can't not say anything.
Tremendous amount of data.
Air and water and sediment pretty extensively for petroleum products, as well as for the dispersants that are being used. And we're not seeing significant concentrations in places where folks are. If you can't capture all of it, try to disperse it up so that it doesn't hit the shoreline.
I get it. So that it's better to be on the ocean bottom. Theoretically, it has less negative impact than if it gets into the marshes and the breeding grounds, I guess is what we're talking about.
Productive ecosystems in the world, right along the shoreline. And what we believe is occurring is that these dispersants are breaking up, and dispersants are breaking up the petroleum products such that bacteria can naturally degrade them. And there are a lot of natural seeps in the Gulf of Mexico and a lot of bacteria out there that can consume this oil, and that's a good thing. And it's a good thing to try to let nature take its course to break them down.
Right. So the idea with the dispersant is you break it into smaller modules that can be handled with the bacteria that is out there for the stuff that you can't gather in physically, and extract from the ocean, it sounds like.
That's precisely correct.
But the thing now on this Corexit, I also heard on the radio that BP manufactures it.
It's another company. I don't know the exact.
I thought they're a subsidiary.
Yeah, that's what I think I've heard as well. The company's called NALCO, N-A-L-C-O.
I think they're located in the United States, aren't they?
They are, and I think it's a Houston, Texas-based company, but I'm not positive.
I also heard that it was banned in, I think, Britain and Scandinavian countries in the North Sea because of its toxicity. Do you have any comment on that?
I do. I think I'd love for you to take. It sounds like you've researched this significantly, and I really appreciate it because you asked some really excellent questions. I think if I recall that ban issue correctly, I believe it was banned for shoreline application. I don't believe that it was banned for offshore application in England or Scandinavia. In fact, I don't know anything about Scandinavia. The only report that I looked at was from England, where it was banned for shoreline application because it had a particular sensitivity to I believe it was a lipid. It was a shoreline organism that was in a rocky coastline.
They were saying that it was banned in Norway for any offshore or deep out to sea, and that's what they were saying.
Right.
It sounds like you have different understanding.
I'm not an expert on the bans in the other countries. I know that it is one of the approved dispersants that can be applied in the United States of America.
Do you know what kind of testing protocols it might have undergone in order to achieve this okayed approval?
I do not know. I can't quote that. I'm sorry. Seems like, on the product schedule, there's 10 or 20 dispersants that are approved. But as far as dispersants that are available in the market, there's lots and lots of them.
Oh, there are more than?
Absolutely. I mean, dispersants are as simple as dishwashing detergent. It's a dispersant to help break up the oily grease products on your plate.
To break down the grease and so forth.
Correct. And so when you think about it in that terms, there's many different kinds of dispersants. They are environmental trade-offs that have to be made, and they're very difficult decisions for environmentalists to make, for ourselves, for our leadership, in these issues. And they're tough decisions, but I believe they all make them based on what they believe is the best thing, or what we believe is the best thing for the environment and the people that are in this area. In my opinion, that we have, I know in the government, we have the brightest minds that we have available, we've brought to bear on this issue. I know that right off the bat, one of the things that BP did was bring all the brightest petroleum engineers they could find into a think tank down in Houston to help arrive at the best recommendations for attacking this spill. Yeah, I would say that this is a catastrophic release of oil into the Gulf of Mexico, larger than we've ever seen before. And I think it's when you really consider how much oil has gone into the Gulf of Mexico, I'm quite honestly amazed at the smaller magnitude of the impacts that we've seen so far. And I think that's a tribute to the folks from the Coast Guard and all the contractors and all the people in this area that are fighting this thing off.
Aren't you done yet?